Experience hospitality the Northwest way at the Everglades Hotel. Located on the banks of the River Foyle, the Everglades Hotel is just minutes from the centre of Derry, Londonderry, with free on-site guest car parking. Whether you're here for a family meal, a big celebration, or simply a peaceful retreat, will make your experience as memorable as the sights in the city. Visit Everglades Hotel Derry for accommodation bookings, the latest menus, live shows and events, and much, much more. See you there.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Gaelic Lives podcast. It's our usual Thursday show, but we've changed it up a wee bit this week with no inter-county action at the weekend. There was, of course, the draws for the Tailteann Cup on the All-Ireland Group Series, so we've invited Monaghan legend Dessie Mone on to discuss just the ins and outs of it, our reaction is, and we're going to hear from the two camps that are involved in the Ulster Under-20 final on Wednesday night as well at the end of the podcast. So we'll start, Dessie, we'll start with All Ireland group stage, and I'll show on screen the four groups. We have in group one the Ulster winners, Connacht runner up, Tyrone and Cavan. Group two is the Munster winners, Leinster runners up, Roscommon and Cork. Group three is the Leinster winners, along with the Munster runners up, Monaghan and Down. And then group four is the Connacht winners, Ulster runner up, Dublin and Derry. So I suppose, Dessie, just give us your immediate thoughts when you've seen the groups.
Yeah, I was sitting in a restaurant actually in Capri here on a TY trip, school trip, Larkin College. So I was even though I'm miles away from Ireland, I was still keen on listening obviously who one of them was going to get in the draw. But listen, you could look at Monaghan's group, but then you look at group one and group four. They're probably tough draws to get. Monaghan's group, they've got the winners out of Louth and Meath away. They've already played them this year. But as we were saying there just before we started, like every game is going to be banana skin. If you don't get your first win, you're under pressure straight away. So again, people will be thinking, get their first win. I know I see it out from there, but if they don't, boys could be thinking about America. The simple things like that there, if you don't get your first win. So important, keep focused. No matter who you have in your first game, is keeping focus and try and get your 10 points on the board as quick as you can.
I suppose the big one that jumps out immediately, Dessie, you sort of mentioned there, was probably group four. You have the Connacht winners, which is going to be either Galway or Mayo. You have the Ulster runner-up, which is going to be either Donegal or Armagh. You have Dublin and Derry. Like, there's no easy games probably in any of the groups, but that's the group of death, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, group four there, you look at it and it's very tasty. You probably even go to games. They're going to be the way the football has been played this year. It's been a fresh air actually. Just going to the games. You notice there in all the provincial matches, they've been going down to nearly the buzzer, the hooter. So they have last kick of the game, either to stay in the championship or you be going out. You look at Derry, Dublin. Meath had a massive win over Dublin there last week, and deservedly so. They played great football. Dublin be licking the runes, see can they get back going again, or else maybe there is that transition in Dublin at the minute. With all them players have gone now, Dublin have to look for new players. Can all the players stand up? You look at Derry. Derry again started well against Donegal, and then you're going to have the winners of Connacht and Galway are probably looking maybe the favourites for that there at the minute, and that's going to be so tough. That group, every game is going to be so crunched. It's going to be helpful out there, and then group stage, that group four. You'd be thinking maybe you're safer off not getting into your provincials, but again, boys want football, and boys be happy if boys get their provincial win, they'll be going into these matches with their confidence up.
I think it's a debate that raised its head last year. I don't think I haven't heard it as much this year that doing the draw before the provincial finals take place. It sort of means that does Park Joyce and Galway not want to win the Connacht title now because they'll have to play the Ulster runner-up Derry and Dublin. But I don't know. Do teams really think like that, or do you just take it one game at a time? And if there's silverware up for grabs, you want to go for it?
Probably depends on the team. Probably depending on the team that's in the provincial. No, if you look at Armagh, Donegal, and Galway, they are going really good this year. You look at the league campaign they had. Donegal could easily got into the league final. Galway are looking good this year. So their side of things, when your team's going well in the league and particularly in the championship, they don't fear any team, and I don't think that's going to cost much of the players' thought. They want to get another title in their back pocket, no matter what. So that's what they, at the end of their career, then they're going to be asked the question: how many Connacht titles, how many Ulsters, how many All-Ireland, things like that. There, and it's always going to be nice to say, yeah, I've collected a couple of them or a few of them. So players themselves will be fully focused on winning that. Yes, it's probably easy to say should the GA hold back. Then other teams have to prepare as well and see who they're going to be facing, because of three teams to face. So again, the stats and research is going to have to be done on that there, and every team wants good preparation, because you look at your management, you look at the backroom staff now, just by going to matches and doing bits with Northern Sound there, the stats team that's up alongside you, it's amazing. There could be 5 or 6 lads there doing stats, and they're going to have to do their research on the matches of the teams that are going to be playing in the group stages. So they want all that get clear. But I have to say, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. I say a lot of people are tuning into it, who's going to get who in the groups, and it's going to be a exciting few weeks ahead.
That Group 1 as well, Dessie, you have the Ulster winners, so that's either going to be Armagh, Donegal, Connacht runner-up, Mayo or Galway, you have Tyrone and Cavan. So that's the Connacht runner-up's going to be in a mini Ulster championship there. It's going to be a couple Ulster derbies.
You're going to have three teams, three Ulster teams, Cavan, Tyrone, and whoever the runner-up's going to be. Again, you look at Tyrone, they're so unlucky. They give away the last kick of the game again on the hooter. So they'll be looking, we weren't far away. We didn't play our best at times. We probably played in patches. Then you look in Cavan. Cavan are probably going to be about banana skin for most teams in that group, because they'll be thinking maybe we only need the one win. But Cavan could always turn up and try and get a win, especially when they're playing an Ulster team. Ulster teams don't fear any team, no matter if Armagh landing playing Cavan in this group stages. Cavan would still firmly believe that they can turn around and beat Armagh, and that's the way Ulster teams compete against each other, because of the college football and the club football. They're always coming up against each other. So that's the interesting thing about that group. No team will fear each other, but again, can you get that first win and set the tone in that group? And that's going to be so important for the teams that are going to be competing in these group stages.
We have Tyrone in that group who have already beaten Cavan in Ulster, and they could possibly they will have to play Cavan again, and they could possibly have to play Armagh again if Armagh win Ulster. So that's the way the group stages. I know they explained it beforehand that there was no repeat pairings. You could meet anybody. So Tyrone possibly they've already played Cavan and Armagh in the championship, and they could possibly face the both of them again.
Yeah, well, that's it. And that Malachy, they're under new management there, so they are under Malachy and Ryan and Leo there, and they're probably leaving the pit at close to Chinnock's Park there last week, thinking this they should have been in the Ulster final the way they performed. Even at times you're thinking Tyrone are going to run away with this game, but again, that's the beauty of the new rules. You think one team is on top of maybe 4 or 5 points, and then a team can gradually get grabbed. Them 2-pointers are so key now, and Armagh have loads of players in abundance to get them 2-pointers, and so Tyrone be looking, if they get them one of them teams again, that they could beat them, and that's probably Tyrone's thinking on that there. But again, they need Dara and Rory. They need the Cavan boys playing there, I think, because again, you need your marquee forwards with these new rules, because your marquee forwards can clean up, scoring or 3 or 4 points, and that's what probably most defenders are going to have to accept these days with these new rules. Can you keep your man scorers? It's going to be very hard to keep men scoreless in these new rules. They maybe could tot up 2 or 3 points. You imagine Mark and Clifford, if you can keep him within 2 or 3 points, you're having a good day, man marking day. So you are. So you have, I think, a small thing like that there. If Tyrone were to progress or were to push on, they definitely would need the Canomans on the pitch all the time. You could see how important they were there last week. So it's going to be down to your marquee force and in around that midfield pairing, which Tyrone have, and Kilpatrick there also. They have a bit, and Brian Kennedy, they do have a big midfielder. So it's them teams, and you look at Armagh, Callum he's brought in there as well. Conroy Macken was due down the start. You have 9 Brimley there. You have, most teams have 4 midfielders there that can come in there, and that's so important this year as well.
And I suppose from a Monaghan perspective, Dessie, use of the Leinster winners, who we know now it's not going to be Dublin, it's going to be the Louth or Meath with the Munster runner up, who, unless there's a massive shock, it's going to be Clare, yourselves and Down. So a real chance for Monaghan to top the group here, but there's certainly not going to be anything easy.
Yeah, I suppose. Listen, most people looking at it, I think Monaghan's going to top this group, but that's not. Unfortunately, that's not the way it works. You like Monaghan to top the group, but they have to go out and perform, and they have been performing this year. But again, this the league is done. They had a good league campaign. You could say they're in touch this again. The Hooter went against them in the game against Donegal, and they're not far away. They'll be thinking they're not far away, but again, they have to turn up. They have to produce 3 good games in this group stages and get the performance. They have hopefully a couple of boys coming back there from injury also, and so that's going to be vital. You have Down beat them in the league, the last game in the league, and you could look at Down. Down weren't far off Donegal at times. I was even thinking if they were missing a few players there also. If the Johnsons are, imagine that the Johnsons are to add into that the way the new rules are. They would be a dangerous force. But again, we only lost by 6 points. I could be right there against Donegal. So Down will be looking at that there, and then you have Louth and Meath. Probably all the talk's only going to be about Meath for the Leinster now because of the win that they got against Dublin. So Louth will be waiting there, and they'll be letting Meath get all the plaudits going into this Leinster final. And Louth have done extremely well this year. Again, they've been lucky. They're unlucky in matches there, but Louth won't be fearing Meath going into this final. And then you have Kerry or Clare. I was down at the Munster final actually last year. I always want to go down to a Munster final, and Kerry and Clare were in it. Clare weren't far off. Monaghan had a hard time against them last year in the qualifiers. It just wasn't the Monaghan only in the bit by maybe 3 points or so. They do have good forwards there, Clare or Kerry. You could say Kerry, but it's all. Your first game is going to be a banana skin, no matter what anybody would say. So it's important if they get the first win. If they want to get the first win, that will give them great confidence to try and push on in them groups. But again, they need all the players. You could see against Donegal, when one of them played Donegal, Ryan McHugh come off injured, and then it was put straight back on as soon as he was bandaged up. So at the end of the day, you need all your players. You need all your good players, especially with these new rules. You have to be a good ball skiller. You have to be heads up football. You have to be good on the ball, point scoring. All that there is coming into play now. You're 1-to-1 defending, so you need your top players on the pitch now. I know we talk about squad players, having a good squad, but you've quality players on your team. You need them playing for them nearly 70 minutes at the end of the day.
Just before we move on to the Tailteann Cup, Dessie, just get your views on the Ulster final. Maybe a quick prediction. Who do you see coming out and toppling it?
Yeah, you look at Armagh. Maybe people thought Armagh weren't going to be hungry for it, but Armagh have turned around, got themselves back into an Ulster final after winning All-Ireland last year. They look like players that they're hungry. McGeaney has introduced a few new players there also. You have to say hats off for the new players that have come in there. Oisín Conley has got better, so he's really taken on that role, centre forward role. Maybe becoming with that, back to your natural centre forward, getting on the ball, setting up scores, doing the 1-2. So you look at that there. Armagh finished they were very sensible. Their man management against Tyrone was brilliant. You could say they get them into that, to get them in to get that draw, and then for them to work that score or the free kick that they got was good as well. So Armagh are definitely are not going to be far away. Again, could come down to the hooter, and that's what it's going to come down to. I'd say it's going to be a draw match, and who's going to man manage that last hooter. When the hooter goes off, who's going to be on the ball and who can manage to get that winning score. I think that's what it's going to come down with these two teams. You look at Donegal's squad. Oisín Gallen didn't start. He's coming on. As I said, Ryan McHugh, he needs to be playing for Donegal because he's a real good baller. So Donegal have a good midfield. I think that there's going to be a real good battle in midfield with Michael Langan, the Donegal midfield and the Armagh midfield. So it's going to be very intriguing. I'm going to say it's like any of these matches, it's like the All-Ireland series at the minute. You could say You can name your top three or top five. I don't think it really matters this year because of the new rules. I think the All-Ireland Championship is wide open, and whatever team is feed into these rules and can make the best of them. For the Ulster finalists, I think it's going to come down to the hooter, and it's going to come down who's going to be the best on the ball. You could see Armagh might squeeze it over the line, just with their All-Ireland and having that winning mentality, and maybe the wee bit of luck. You know, for the last couple of years, they've been losing penalty, losing and vital times, and maybe this year. Last year they finished out games, especially in Ireland, and they finished out in a massive game there against Tyrone. So Armagh could get the tip of the hat there for maybe to get a whole lot of Anglo-Celtic.
We'll obviously be covering it as much as we can and with podcasts and everything next week. But we'll move on to the Tailteann Cup then, Dessie, and the four groups we have in the Tailteann Cup then. We have in Group 1, it's Kildare, Sligo, Leitrim and Tipperary. Group 2 is Offaly, Laois, Wicklow and Waterford. Group 3 is Westmeath, Limerick, Antrim and London. And in Group 4, we have Fermanagh, Wexford, Carlow and Longford. There's only two teams in the Tailteann Cup, Dessie, but there's a massive Ulster interest because, you know, we've Aidan O'Rourke down in Kildare, Tony McEntee down in Sligo, we've Stephen Poacher in Leitrim, Justin McNulty in Laois, Oisin McConville in Wicklow. So there's a huge Ulster interest in the Tailteann Cup.
You mean the Armagh interest?
A huge Armagh interest.
All Ireland winners down coaching there. Yeah, again, Tottenham's going to be very interesting. Just you've Kildare, Sligo, and Leitrim in one group there. Look at Leitrim, what they did against Mayo, that did perform well in the first half and leading in towards the second half. There also Kildare will probably won't be happy that they're not in a Leicester final. I watched the Wexford and Limerick game. The Wexford going well. Limerick won that league final. So you're going to have a lot of teams there again. As you can see there, I've been watching. I'm watching it. No matter who's playing now on TG4 or who's on the Sunday game. You're watching every game because every game you look at now it's good. It's good attacking football. It's 1-on-1 defending and it's fast and it's flowing. And people are back watching the games, and there's no difference with the Tailteann Cup. It's going to have great games, especially in the group stages. There, you look at Offaly with Mickey Hart, and it has done to Offaly now. Their confidence up there now. They're also at the minute. So you've Kildare, Offaly, you've Wexford there, you've Fermanagh. Look, Fermanagh, they could have been in an Ulster semi-final, only down that towards the end. Fermanagh getting that black card. At the end of the day, you cannot get a player black card or sent off because it will no matter what, be it a club level or at the county, it's going to crucify having that extra player up there on the forward line, and the team trying to defend is impossible. It's near impossible now, and it showed there with Fermanagh. Fermanagh probably extremely unlucky not being in that Ulster semi-final. They'll be thinking, let's go for this. Let's go and win this Tailteann Cup. You look at Down. Look at how it was good to them. Now they're in the All-Ireland series. So teams would be looking at that as a stepping stone to get back in the All-Ireland series, get back into winning ways and set themselves up nicely for next year. As I say, it's all good football to watch, and there will be a great interest in the Tailteann Cup there also in the next couple of weeks too.
How do you rate Fermanagh and Antrim's chances in it, Dessie? Because I think in the last 2 years, Antrim, they've got to Croke Park, they've got to the Tailteann Cup semi-finals. They haven't been able to bridge that gap and get that final yet, but they showed against Armagh in the first round of Ulster that, you know, they certainly have quality all over the field. And Fermanagh the same. Fermanagh just maybe haven't had the same luck in the Tailteann Cup the last couple of years, but again, as you said, they showed in the Ulster Championship that they're certainly at a level that they can compete.
Yeah, it's the same as we talked about the groups earlier. What team's going to react? What player is going to react? What team's going to be hungry to win this competition out? You look at Fermanagh, Conor Lovey put in a superb performance against Down. You know, boys be thinking, especially forwards, that this game is made for forwards now. So it is. You know, can they progress their county and push them on even further? Antrim probably again have been unlucky. But I think Fermanagh, for me, of the Ulster teams, will give this Tailteann Cup a good go, especially with their coach there as well, Donny there. No, he will be. No, he after the match he wasn't too happy. He looked like a man that was very disappointed in his face there on the sideline. So Fermanagh will probably be looking to rectify that and give this a good push and really trying and get Fermanagh back into where they should be.
Dessie, great stuff. Thanks very much for jumping on and taking time out of your holiday, your busy holiday there.
But there's no holiday when you take 70 kids away on a school. You might say it was in Capri, but listen, thanks very much for having me on there, and looking forward to this All-Ireland series.
Yeah, it should be good. As usual, we'll be covering it. We'll be covering the Ulster final next week. I'm covering all we can in the All-Ireland series as well. But that's all from Dessie. We're going to hear now from the two camps involved in the Ulster Under-20 Championship final. That was Donegal and Tyrone that on Wednesday night, and Mal McMullen and Niall Young were both at that. So we'll hear that now, and a quick word from our sponsors. So we'll be back in part 2. Dessie, thanks very much.
All right, all the best. Thank you.
Experience hospitality the Northwest way at the Everglades Hotel. Located on the banks of the River Foyle, the Everglades Hotel is just minutes from the centre of Derry, London Derry, with free on-site guest car parking. Whether you're here for a family meal, a big celebration, or simply a peaceful retreat, we'll make your experience as memorable as the sights in the city. Visit Everglades Hotel Derry for accommodation bookings, the latest menus, live shows and events, and much, much more. See you there.
Diarmuid McNulty, I'm sure you're happy, back-to-back Ulster champions, and I think it's fair to say he's definitely did it the hard way. It took a save right at the end to win the game.
Hey, Ulster titles come down to small moments, and just looking across here, Conor McGarvey, he's the man that was sitting as number 2 to Conor McEnany, and he took his chance tonight, and I thought he was unbelievable. And he stood up and did everything that you asked of him. His kickouts were brilliant, his shot stopping, his high catching. Just so proud of a man, and that's what we sort of develop as a squad, that any man can step up and do the business, and tonight he did it.
He's always seemed to finish the half strong. Like Rory McCullough last week against Derry, he got 2 points tonight. Even at the end, even though he's missed a chance at the end with all the standoff, he's always seemed to try and get the right men in the right positions at the end of the half.
Yeah, I think
maybe it's a coincidence.
Well, it's a bit of both. I think we do spend a lot of time on scenarios and game situations and stuff like that. So it's one of these ones that, if it plays out within the game, we've had practice at it. But the energy we bring, I think, at times is exceptional, and sometimes it takes us a wee while to get going, but once we get going, we're hard enough to stop,
What was going through your head in those last 2 minutes? Like, Donegal sat in
of ordinary time.
Yeah, and you probably knew you were going to get one shot.
Yeah, and I think we were very calm in it, and like I'm very stickler for time, so I was kept shouting on, and I could hear also, Kevin Flynn was also shouting on the times. But I think we worked a reasonable shooting opportunity, but I think we should have probed a wee bit earlier, and maybe got that shooting opportunity slightly earlier, and if it didn't work, then we still could have kept the ball. But that's something we can work on, and we'll be glad we were able to go back to the training field to work on it.
But it didn't faze you. You come out after extra time, you get 2 pointers, key scores that probably give you the cushion that you needed.
I think we kicked 7 points in the first 5 minutes, and I thought some of that play that we was as good a football as you'll see in Ulster or maybe in the summer all year. Real high quality kicking and running off the shoulder, and we just had a real sense of energy. And but then we were really disappointed the way we finished the half. But then we still got the last score, and what a score from Conor Sheaves, his last touch, because he had to come off. He had to come off, and I'm looking forward to seeing what distance he covered, because he covered every blade and own big tonight.
Well, you're chatting about covering grass. Like, I asked Paul the same thing last week. Because you lost in the group stages, because you had an extra game, the week-on-week thing, when you win, it obviously proves that it works, but momentum was very much your friend.
Yeah, I think momentum in sport is one thing, and it's fantastic, but you also, there's a lot of common sense is used. I know common sense mightn't be always obvious, but common sense was used in terms of our training load and things like that, just to make sure that we were ready. And 7 weeks in a row we've went there, and that's a lot on the body. And you got to hand it to our medical team and things like that they have looked after the boys, and every week the boys are able to come out and put on a show. And we've covered some distance in Ulster, but we're looking forward to getting to the green fields of Ireland.
I think it's your 17th Ulster title at this grade as a county. Like it's a major achievement.
It is, you know, and to do it back-to-back's nice too, like, you know, and last year it was this unbelievable battle that went to penalties against Derry, and this year we went to extra time again, so we haven't done it the easy way. This year we've had one extra game in Ulster, but we have known that everybody has been gunning for us, and to still come out away as champions of your province is a thing that we are very, very proud of as a whole group.
Final question, you've been involved with some of these group at a Hogan Cup level.
Yeah.
What's it like to be coaching a group that have just won that Ulster title? What's it like inside the four walls?
When you're standing on the sideline and you're looking across at boys and you know you've gone to battle with them, there's so much trust and faith, and you just back them, you know, and you've just such a bond. You've gone through all these, you know, emotions and celebrations and tough training sessions together. You know what to expect from everybody, and when you look across, we've had battles against the Holy Trinities and against the Dungannans and the Donnoch Moors, and they're all together because we're all proud Tyrone men, and just proud to be the kings of Ulster at the moment, like, you know.
Thanks for your time, and now you can have a rest.
Thanks very much.
Colin Sheehy, Ulster champion. What does it feel like? I'm sure it's buzzing in there.
Absolutely, you can see the lads are delighted there, and delighted myself. It's unbelievable feeling that obviously the Ulster champion, so yeah, good win.
I was chatting to Risa there. He says he can't wait to see your GPS tracker. He reckons you covered every blade of grass out here, and you kicked a point and cramped up, so you well and truly went to the well.
Yeah, well, these new rules, and especially extra time there, I was wrecked, so I say I have a good distance covered, and yeah, the last point the calves went, so I think I was worth it though.
What was it like to play in a game like that? Because like it was cagey enough in the first half. You got a goal at a very key time, and then he's needed the 2 points to bring it to extra time, so there was a wee bit of everything in there.
Yeah, the tensions were definitely high there, but I think we handled it well. Obviously going into extra time, we knew we were in touching distance, and same at half time we were a point up, so we felt good throughout the match. Obviously Donegal are a great side, they beat us earlier in the league, so yeah, it was a tough game.
And is it obvious just to say it was that moment at the start of extra time, and I think he's got something like 5 points inside 5 minutes? Was that when it started to turn for you, or was there something else you noticed?
I think that was it. There was a wee bit of wind we had in the first half, so I think we might have got 3 back-to-back 2-pointers, which is massive. It's going to be tough for Donegal to come back from that, so that might have been the turning point in the game. And
you went 7 up at that point.
Yeah, they nearly got back in, but I think that was sort of the nail in the coffin, so it was great.
And they had a goal chance, which would have won the game. So you needed your keeper to pull you out of the bag right at the end.
Conan stepped in for us today there. Conor McEnany got injured last game, so he had a massive performance there. Conan, he done unreal, and obviously great save to save us in Ulster Championship, so yeah, he done excellent.
I was looking out at the scenes in the final whistle. There was just a sea of people, and they were telling people to put away the flares and different things, and there was red smoke everywhere, but it must be just an amazing feeling to be in there, to be part of it, to have won that Ulster title, as you say.
Aye, absolutely. Obviously all the lads storming on there, and the fans, it's great to see. It's what you want to see, showing people out celebrating the great wins there, so delighted, and obviously seeing your family on the pitch celebrating Ulster Championship, it's an unbelievable achievement, so very proud. And
some of you were here last year and some of you weren't, but like the back-to-back thing is probably rubber stamps the sort of the consistency that's within the group.
Absolutely, it shows the quality in Tyrone football, you know, and last year there's maybe 10 of the boys still playing, so they had the experience to carry through into this final, and yeah, we done great, excellent.
And what is it about it? Is it just a strong club football, strong school football, a combination of everything? Because it doesn't just happen.
Yeah, I think you always hear in news and stuff, Tyrone Championships, one of the best championships in Ireland. Obviously it's straight knockout, so that obviously brings lads on, and Paul and OD and Cahill and Risa and all the lads, just the trainings are so intense, every man keeps better than each other, so I think that's it, and then just pushing each other on.
Memorable night.
Absolutely.
Thanks for your time, and congratulations.
Cheers.
Thank you. Joined here by Tyrone goalkeeper Conor McGarvey. What's that winning feeling like?
Unbelievable, like, it's just all the work we've put in the past couple of months. It's just good to get over the line, get a medal in the pocket.
And the game itself, extra time, you had a chance to win it in normal time. They got a goal in extra time. It had so many moments, but what was going through your head in those last few moments, because you pulled off what proved to be the winning save there?
Yeah, I was just keep the head, just play the football. We've trained away, so we know what we're at. That's just it.
And the season itself, you've lost to Donegal in the group stages. You've had a battle with Armagh, as you hear last week. So what is it about the group? Because you're still standing and you've retained your title. There must be something special in there.
Look, when finals come up, we're not going to let them go by us. Like, it's a big occasion. Win's a win, hey.
What do you take out of having so many men back from last year? Because some of you have a second medal, some of you have a first one, but it's bound to be a help in there.
No, it's good to have boys from last year just for experience now, just we know the way we train, know the way we play. Just the new lads that came in have all been class, like, so. Is there a moment in that game you felt it really turned? Just the start of that first half and extra time, we pushed forward, hit a couple of 2-pointers. That was kind of the winning of the game for us.
What was the message in the normal time? Because he's kept the ball for like 2 minutes, he's missed the chance to win it, but you weren't gone. What was the message before extra time? Because you got off to an unbelievable start. Just play the football. We were exactly where we wanted to be. It's a close game, Just play the football. We've been trained. Great feeling. Yeah, great feeling, yeah. And an All-Ireland series to look forward to, but not now. Not now, but I look forward to the night more. Congratulations. Thanks very much.